Welcome to Lively Lewis Stories.
Buckle up, because you're about to join Levi and Ivy on an adventure.
All you need is your imagination, and off we
go! Lively Lewis Stories!
It was a rainy day outside, so Levi and Ivy decided to spend the day playing on their iPads. They watched so many shows that the hours they spent on the iPads felt like seconds. Dad came in to see what they were doing. Are you guys still on those things? How long has it been? Since breakfast, said Levi and Ivy. All right, I think that's enough time on the iPad. Why don't you guys go upstairs and play with your actual toys? But their actual toys didn't sound fun at all. Why should they play with stuffed animals when they could watch real animals on their iPads? Levi and Ivy sighed and headed upstairs, but instead of getting out their toy bins, they hid under a fluffy blanket and went on their iPads again. This time, they were watching a show about an African savanna with amazing grassland animals. Look at this one, Levi giggled. He's a boy lion, but he has the longest hair. I think he likes taking naps, said Ivy. Suddenly, the iPad started to glow in their hands. The sturdy blue cases glowed white, and the whole iPad began to shake. Oh, what's happening, Levi? I don't know, Ivy. The light grew and grew until it appeared all around them. Levi and Ivy felt themselves fall forward. Whoa! And just like that, Levi and Ivy disappeared. The blanket over their heads melted back to the ground, draping over the normal, restored iPad. The first thing Levi and Ivy noticed was the smell of dirt. Sitting up and shaking their heads, they looked around and saw they were very much not in the Lewis household anymore. Yellow grass stretched for miles in every way, with a few trees and a sprinkle of bushes. The skies above them were a wash of orange and purple. Why, they looked to be in the exact African savanna from their show. No way, said Levi. Ivy grabbed his hand and they walked through the grass to find some shade. They were a long way from home and they didn't have any sunscreen. When they found a tree, they looked up and saw none other than chocolate strawberries hanging from the branches. Usually trees had fruits or acorns, but the kids knew the sight of chocolate right away. Help me up, said Ivy. It's too tall, said Levi. I can do it. Let me stand on your shoulders. For a moment, they wobbled there, Ivy trying to climb and balance on her brother. When she finally straightened up, she reached and reached for the strawberries, but they were too high. Making herself as long as a tree, Ivy managed to touch one, but in a flash, all the strawberries were sucked higher into the branches. What did I do? Ivy wondered out loud. You have to be quicker than that. Levi and Ivy looked around to see who had spoken. A girl cheetah was chilling in one of the branches, watching them with big brown eyes. You can talk? Said Levi. Oh, yeah, and I can get strawberries a lot better than you can. Look. The cheetah girl swiped her paw so fast that she snagged a strawberry. Well, you're a cheetah, Ivy said sassily. You're supposed to be fast. The cheetah jumped down from her branch, landing next to Levi and Ivy. She leaned over and sniffed their clothes. You're a new kind. I haven't seen anyone here that looks like you. I'm Casey. I'm Levi, and this is Ivy. We're not from here. We actually need your help to get home. Casey thought hard. I guess I can take you back to my den. Maybe Mother Spots will know what to do. But you have to be respectful. You have to follow all our rules. Can you do that? Levi and Ivy both nodded. We can. Good. Casey sniffed them again. But I hear your tumblies rumbling. Mother Spots would be so upset if I brought you back without feeding you. Come on, I have something that I'm sure even your kind would like. Casey lowered herself to her belly so that Levi and Ivy could ride her. Hold on tight. They were glad they had grabbed her fur. Otherwise, they would have been thrown back to yesterday. Casey ran across the savanna like a lightning bolt so fast that neither Levi or Ivy could see where they were going. They did see a herd of elephants as well as a watering hole. But everything was so blurry until Casey stopped them in front of a large dirt mound. When the kids looked closer, they saw a bunch of holes poking out of the mound. as if it was a big whack-a-mole hill or a horde of snakes living inside. But there were no snakes in sight. Only potato chips? Are those hovering in the air? Asked Ivy. Oh, yeah, said Casey. What are they doing up there? Asked Levi. Waiting to be eaten, of course. Watch this. Casey crept over to the hill. She hunched her back and then suddenly swiped a paw, swiping a chip. She happily munched on it. Your turn. But I don't think I could do that, said Levi. At least try. Sighing, Levi made his way to the dirt mound. He tried to grab a chip, but he was too slow. The chips all disappeared back into the holes. What happened? Asked Ivy. Your brother wasn't quick enough. Oh, well, I guess you'll have to wait for them to come back up and you'll have to be quicker. Levi looked defeated. I don't think I can. Can't you do it for me, Casey? Casey laughed. That would take away the fun. It's okay. I know you can do it. You'll just have to be patient. Levi hadn't practiced patience in a long time. Today, however, he would try. He rolled up his sleeves and waited for the chips to return. Back at the Lewis house, both Mom and Dad had no idea their little ones were gone. Dad spent his afternoon surrounded by popcorn, cookies, and fruity drinks while he watched TV. Mom came into the living room wearing her workout clothes. Okay, honey, I'm going to the gym. Have fun, said Dad. Mom stared at Dad, and the longer she did, the more she wished she was watching TV and wearing comfy clothes too. But she knew she should really go to the gym. She hadn't been in weeks. But oh, did that popcorn look divine? Mom went back upstairs, changed her clothes, and hopped on the couch next to Dad. Dad frowned at her. What are you doing? I thought you were going to the gym. I can go tomorrow, said Mom. Hand over those snacky snacks.
Soda.
Speaking of snacky snacks, Levi was no closer to swiping a chip in his magical African savannah world. Twice now, the chips had floated up from the holes, but Levi missed them both times. He was starting to get frustrated and hangry. You know, hungry, angry, hangry. This is the worst, he cried out. I'll help you, said Ivy. When the chips come out, I'll put my hand under it so it can't go back in the hole. Good idea, Ivy. Casey watched with a smile beneath her whiskers. The next time the chips peeked up, Ivy stuck her hand beneath and Levi successfully grabbed the chip. I got it! Well done, guys, said Casey. Enjoy your chip. Levi broke it in half and gave the other part to Ivy. They took a bite and their mouths exploded with flavor. It was the best chips they'd ever had. Cheesy, oniony, barbecuey, all in one. And the fact they'd worked so hard for it made it so much more meaningful and delicious. Levi and Ivy used their method to eat many more chips until Casey looked off into the horizon where the sun was setting. We should be getting back to the den. Are you guys full? Nodding and burping, Levi and Ivy climbed on Casey's spotted back. They took off until they reached two big rocks with a hole in between. Levi and Ivy followed her down. A spacious den the size of a house was inside, holding too many cheetahs to count. Levi and Ivy looked at each other and smiled big. Casey turned and faced them. Every time you pass someone in my family, you have to say hi. Every time? Said Ivy. Yes, we all do it. It is a sign of respect. We'll say hi to them, Levi agreed. So every time a big spotted cheetah came their way, Levi and Ivy waved and said a big hi or hello. The cheetahs looked at them strangely, but seemed happy to say hi back. Casey brought them to a large cheetah standing behind a wall of rock. The cheetah had big purple eyes and a necklace filled with teeth. Mother Spots, said Casey. These are my two new friends, Levi and Ivy. Levi and Ivy, said Mother Spots, her voice thunderous and loud. Welcome. Both kids gasped at each other. If anyone could help them back home, it would be Mother Spots. Mom and Dad, meanwhile, had fallen asleep on the couch, still surrounded by their snacks. They woke up suddenly when the TV turned to a new show. Whew, said Mom. How long were we out? Dad checked his phone. An hour, it looks like. Mom put her hand on her stomach. Honey? Yeah? I don't feel so good after eating all that. I kind of wish I had gone to the gym and exercised. I get it, said Dad. I don't feel good after spending all day on the TV either. I mean, I told Levi and Ivy earlier that they shouldn't be on their iPads so long. I guess I can't talk since I did the same thing. We have to work on our self-regulation from now on. If the kids watch us do it, then they'll be more likely to do the same. Mom and Dad hopped off the couch and began cleaning up the snacks. The African savanna cheetahs decided to throw a party for Levi and Ivy. They built a fire in the center of the den and danced around it, yipping happily. Both Levi and Ivy joined in, yipping as best as they could as little humans. When they got tired, they took seats beside Mother Spots and Casey. "So, Levi and Ivy," said Mother Spots, "did you have a fun time?" "Yeah," said Ivy. "It was the most fun I've ever had." "I like cheetah parties," said Levi. Mother Spots chuckled. "Yes, we try to throw the best ones. Casey here does quite a good job of finding creatures to celebrate with us." Casey wagged her tail bashfully. "What do you guys do for fun in your world?" she asked them. Levi and Ivy thought hard. "Well," said Levi, "we play a lot on our iPads." "What are iPads?" "Oh, they're these big phones. They have games and shows. We spend hours on them." "Sounds boring," said Casey. "I don't think I could ever sit in one place for so long. My back would hurt and I wouldn't be able to run so fast." Ivy chimed in. "Yeah, I guess it can be boring. We spend so much time on them that we don't do anything else. Sometimes I get cranky when I'm on it for too long, too." "Yeah, you do," said Levi. Ivy rolled her eyes. "But maybe we should take breaks more often. There's so many more fun things to do than just watch shows and play games." Mother Spots bowed her head. "I think you're right, child, and I think the two of you are ready to go back home." For a moment, Levi and Ivy panicked. They didn't want to go home yet. They loved this world with talking cheetahs and hovering potato chips. But Mother Spots was right. They needed to be home and be with their parents. "I'll miss you, Mother Spots," said Levi. "And you too, Casey." "You can always come back for a visit," said Casey. "Promise?" "Promise." The kids hugged both cheetahs before stepping back. Mother Spots tipped back her head and let out a huge roar, making Levi and Ivy fall back into a pool of white light. When they came to, it smelled like carpet, and the air was thick and stuffy. They were still under that fluffy blanket. Levi pulled it off, both of them. "Thanks," said Ivy. "Want to play something?" Levi asked her. "Sure." They ran out of the room, leaving their iPads under the blanket. Later, when Mom and Dad found them, they were jumping on the couches, pretending they were cheetahs dancing around a fire. Cushions went flying left and right. Mom looked at them and scratched their head. "Well, I guess we don't have to worry about them staying on electronics all day." "Yeah," said Dad, laughing. "Let's hope we don't have to worry about them cleaning up afterwards, too." Did you learn a lesson from this story?
If so, what was it?
And parents, do your kids have a story idea?
Leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, the idea, and your kid's name for a chance to join Levi and Ivy on their next adventure. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. Come back for more.